What is going on, guys? What is going on? I'm having a little snack before we begin talking. Let people come on. How's everybody doing? What up, Louise? Hey, Louise, if you're free, if you want to come on, man, you're more than welcome to. Just let me know, and I will send you the link. So, I'm going to share the screen here. In just a second. All right, man. Yeah, no problem. No problem. No problem at all. Gonna finish up here. I'm sorry, I just have to start early and chill with you guys, have a snack. All right, so I want to see what's up, Miles. What's up, man? How do you guys like this new layout? I actually kind of like it, to be honest. You can see the background, no matter if somebody's on or not, which is really cool. So let me know what you guys think. I'm going to send this link out to a friend that asked for it. So they can come on and watch me. Let's see. So they can come on and watch me. Let's see. All right. And go back to Google for a second. And this is the one that I want. All right, so we're going to read this article. Let me share the screen. Nope. Not what I wanted. All right. So Apple becomes the first U.S. company to reach $3 trillion market cap. Apple hit a market cap of $3 trillion briefly during trading on Monday. The milestone is most likely symbolic, but it represents investor recognition of Apple's success over the past few years, as the company has reported several record-breaking quarters of big growth in all of its product lines. Apple's cash flow also makes the stock of a safe haven during times of market uncertainty. So it says Apple, same thing. Apple rose 2.5% on Monday to close at $182.01, just missing closing the trading day at the $3 trillion mark. The milestone is most likely symbolic, but it shows investors remain bullish on Apple stock and its ability to grow at a market value of of $3 trillion. Apple tripled its valuation in under 4 years, and analysts see plenty of room to run. Apple showed annual growth across all of its product categories in its fourth quarter earnings, with revenue up to 29% year over year. While the iPhone is still the biggest sales driver, Apple services business grew 25.6% year over year and delivered more than $18 billion in revenue during the quarter. In December, for example, Morgan Stanley's Katie Huberty raised the firm's price target on Apple from $164 to $200 and maintained equivalent of buying rating, arguing that the new products like virtual reality and augmented reality headsets aren't baked into the share price. Huberty also said she expects Apple App Store revenue to outperform Morgan Stanley's forecast of the quarter and for Apple to ship 83 million units during the December quarter, 3 million more than anticipated. So I'll share this link with you guys if you guys want to read it by yourselves. But Apple sold 27 million pair of its newest AirPod models over the holidays, driving 20% year-over-year growth for Apple's wearables business during the quarter. Analyst Mintry Kuo of the TFI Asset Management Limited said in a Monday quote. Wedbush analyst Daniel Ives wrote on Sunday that the mark a waterish moment, but more room to grow, especially since Ives values Apple's services business at $1.5 trillion. Investors also turn into let me read that again. Investors also turn to Apple as a safe haven during recent market uncertainty, thanks to its strong balance sheet and prodigious cash flow, which it uses to invest in new products, stock buybacks, and to return capital to shareholders through dividends. Apple became the first publicly traded U.S. company to hit $1 trillion market cap during intraday trading on August 2nd, 2018. It hit a $2 trillion valuation just over 2 years later on August 19th, 2020. Apple's peers aren't far behind. Microsoft is worth about $2.5 trillion. Amazon has about a 1.75 market cap, and Google's market valuation is just shy of $2 trillion. Apple stock rose 34% in 2021. And I want to... Yep. Yo, Solange, what is up? What is up? Thank you. How are you? Story time. That's a good story. Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, I think it's great that these companies are growing in so many ways, and I can't believe it. Like when I saw this story, I thought, damn. But honestly, especially now with the new markets that they're going to be coming in, creating the AR VR headset and all that, it's going to be a great thing for Apple. And honestly, like, you see so many people buying these products year over year. And yeah, so this is no surprise. But I did want to share that story. Let me know what you guys think about that. I I am supposed to have a guest. I'm not sure what's going on. Let me see if he messaged me. I know I did start a little bit early, so all right, so he did. Yeah, I did start early, so he will be joining. Hey, listen, I am what works. You know, I listen. I love exactly. Um, Apple's just my thing. Apple's just my thing, you know, and you know, it just they do it different. They do it different, and I really like the way they do things. You know, and I mean, look now. I mean, they're one of the biggest companies now. Um, I mean, they've always have been in my eyes, but still. Get out of here. That's not even a really great Android either. Someone says, I stick with my Android. You'll change your mind. I'll make sure of it. You'll change your mind. All right, guys. We got my guest backstage. Let me know when you're ready, man. And I'll get you on here. All right. Sure.
Hey, Taylor. How's it going?
How are
How's
you,
it
man?
going? Not bad. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. Just
Cool.
just talking about the whole Apple, you know, the trade and stuff, Apple $1 trillion market cap now. I'm sure you've heard about that. What are your
Yep.
thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, look, it was probably kind of inevitable, right?
Right.
Is my sound good, by the way?
Yeah.
Good. And sorry, I mean, I was on a phone call. I would have kind of wanted to come a little bit
Oh
early, but
no, no
cool.
problem.
Anyway, but yeah, it was kind of inevitable, to a degree. But hey, well deserved. What is there to say? I mean, regardless, I've probably said this before on other people's streams, but to some small degree. But regardless of what you feel about Tim Cook, regardless what you feel about Apple's products, their innovation, real or
Yeah.
perceived, you have to give credit where credit's due. The fact is,
Yeah.
the financial management of the company has just been off the charts the last 10 years since Steve Jobs passed away, right?
Right.
They've actually exponentially increased in terms of profitability, and the stock price is a reflection of that, right? Earnings ultimately drive the way the stock market works. Earnings ultimately, fundamentally, are the driver, right? And
Yeah.
they're there. The numbers, unless you believe they're cooking the books, which there's no real hard evidence that we know of,
Right.
then the evidence is there, right? So and they get audited. They have to submit taxes. They may get audited. They probably, I mean, any big company, or as you probably know, wealthy individual is always going to have a target on their back from the IRS. So they look at it. They go over this stuff with a
True.
fine tooth comb, right? So unless you believe there's some kind of fraud, or accounting or other fraud going on, or cook numbers, then you have to believe that it's the truth. And they're just producing at such a high level, and the stock is a reflection of that. So now you probably saw it's a little bit below that 3 trillion, but we're right there, right? It's right on the cusp. And it's impressive. It's impressive performance. And I guess the question is, another thing that Wall Street looks at it. They're always looking ahead, right? They're always looking forward. So the question is, where do they go from here? 3.5 trillion, 4 trillion, whatever. That'll come down to, they continue to make good products and sell them at a high profit margin and produce that way. Then the stock should keep growing. Who know, as to when that's going to happen, those higher levels, we don't know. Nobody has a crystal ball. But I think that what'll be interesting, they're going to be having their earnings announcement in the next like 3 weeks or so. The proof will be in the pudding. And I think analysts, if everything is legit, is going to continue. They're going to what they call raise their price targets, right? So the price targets always look 12 months, like say a year ahead, because the stock market's considered like unemployment. The big 12 of the 12 leading economic indicators, the big three are unemployment, interest rates, and inflation, right? But one of the other 9 is the stock market. It's a fourth. So that's why when you hear Wall Street analysts give price targets, they're 12-month price targets. They're always going out 1 year ahead, right? So that's what that's all about. So, and this is why a lot of people say it's better to, might say invest in Apple rather than trade Apple, unless you're a real day trader or whatever, right? They call a scalper. It's better. I'm not, and this isn't a recommendation necessarily, right, per se, but in general, that's true of most stocks in general. So you're looking out a year, 2 to 5, 10 years. If you bought how many, say 100 shares of Apple, 5 years ago, you're sitting really pretty right now, right? If you even bought like I don't know, a year ago, you're doing well, right? So
yeah,
it's impressive. So like something like real estate would be a trailing indicator, but the stock market lead indicator, they're always looking forward, they're not looking back. So that's why I say it's impressive that they've hit this milestone, right? The question is, where does it go from here? They don't want to look backwards, they want to look forwards, right? But it looks like all they're clicking on all cylinders. There's no reason to think that those numbers won't be really good in later this month when they release their earnings. And if you probably know this, and most people probably can figure this, their biggest quarter is typically this past quarter, right? So October through December, that's the holiday season with all the iPhone sales, Mac sales, iPad, everything. That's going to be
see once they hit AR and VR, like how that's gonna, dude. That's gonna like skyrocket everything.
I think so. I think, you could see even accelerated growth possibly based on that. Now, I think some of it, I think you'll agree, some of it's going to depend on, on adaptation, early adopters versus, later, more mass adaptation of the stuff, right? But if you look at Facebook, they're going full throttle. They renamed the firm Meta platform, right? And they own Oculus. So if Apple can answer back with something even close to that, who knows what the future holds with that? It could be really good,
I honestly, I mean, I don't want to talk loudly, but like, I honestly see them like knocking all these other companies out of the park. Especially Meta, because when Apple does something, they just know how to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I think that, and like, this new AR VR stuff, we know about it for what, like a year or so. I'm sure
it's been around longer than that, but like you say, it's still in its infancy, relatively speaking, right?
Sure, but I'm sure they've been working on it for more than what we know that they've been working on it for.
Oh, of course,
So that it's going to be interesting. Now, I kind of wanted to go into like what they're going to be releasing this year and anything you're excited for this year.
I mean, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this as early as this first quarter, they're supposed to release one or maybe even 2 iPhone SEs, I think, right?
Yep.
I think a small to replace the one from 2020 and maybe even a larger one, an SE Plus, right? So a lot of people are going to love it. The price points on those should be favorable for people that, want to, you might say budget or mid-range, that don't want to spend the money on a regular iPhone 13 or Pro, right? So
that's probably going to be me if I can convince my parents, because my dad is. So I got my dad an iPhone 8 off of a friend.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's used, but I don't know. I feel like the last 2-3 months, after I got it, of course, the battery was already degraded, but now it's just degrading even more, and it doesn't even last a whole day for my dad.
Oh wow!
little did I know that my dad uses it every day. You listening to music at work. I thought he would
Oh,
like just have it for calling home and whatnot. And he's like,
right,
"Oh,
texting.
I've been using it to listen to music, but it doesn't last me the whole day." So I'm just like, "Ah, great." Um, so I kind of want to get him something a little bit better. Most likely the SE.
Oh,
And
that'd be nice.
if they're if it's gonna be the price point what they say it's gonna be, I might do it. I might do it.
Yeah, yeah,
If I
sure.
can do it, my mom to get it because honestly, like, money's tight and
Oh,
completely
yeah.
understandable. I mean, we just went through Christmas and she just got me like a couple of good things.
Oh, nice.
Um, I'm still I'm still working on reviews and stuff. It's been really, really hectic. Unfortunately, I can do most things by myself, but like there was a couple things that I asked my friend to help me with, and like 2 days later, I find out he has family member with COVID, and I'm just like, great.
Oh,
So unfortunately, a couple of my helpers are down for the count for a little bit because either
yeah.
they have it or a family member has it. So, but
Oh,
nonetheless,
you
I
mean that they have? They have COVID. Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I'm
yeah.
sorry to hear that. Yeah, yeah, it's tough.
So so I'm just waiting to see, and not only that, but like with the numbers rising, where we are, it's been crazy. So it's like we
Yeah.
don't even want to see many people. We already
Right,
saw a lot of people during the holidays, so now it's just like we gotta protect ourselves and stay home. It's bad enough that my parents are working, so you know it is what it is though. But
right,
so like I said, I'm still working on a lot of the reviews and stuff, um, and hopefully I can get that out in the next month or so. And then once I'm done with that, it's gonna be Apple events starting up and Google event and this and that. So
right.
this year is gonna be a really good year. I feel.
Oh,
Uh,
hopefully, I think for all of us, yeah. Let's
yeah, yeah.
try to
I
start
think
off
this is
right.
gonna
Yeah,
be a really busy year for the channel. Um, as far as like things that I want, of course, like I said, iPhone SE. Um, I don't know. I've been thinking of getting like the Pixel and stuff. I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to spend too much money. I mean,
do it, do it.
yeah, I don't want to ask my parents to spend money, so like I'm waiting to get myself a job and get stuff that way.
Yeah,
Um, but I mean, if there's any companies out there that are willing to send me something for free, go ahead.
yeah. Hint, 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 hint,
Free.
hint, hint. Whoever's listening, send Taylor stuff. Send me
Dude,
stuff too
okay,
while you're at it.
so I kind of missed out on an opportunity, a really good opportunity. I'm not really sure what the company sells or anything, but somebody messaged me and was like, "Hey, we saw your videos and streams. We think you're really good. We want you to, review our product." And
Mhm.
I'm just like, "Okay, cool." Um, but they wanted me to practically buy it off of them, and
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I thought that was like a scam, and I'm just like, should I do it? So I messaged a friend, and unfortunately they were overseas, and they didn't get back to me until the next day. In which case, I was just like, okay, well, this kind of seems like a scam. I'm gonna block it.
yeah.
And guy messages me back next day. It was like, oh yeah, they've reached out to me, and they seem legit. And I'm like, and I just block them. Yay. So you just never know. I'm just
True.
starting off, so I don't know.
Yeah,
Um, like I still have a lot to learn when it comes to working with companies and stuff.
yeah.
Um, And right now,
Well,
like,
I've heard there's a lot of that though, where they want you to buy it and then and then yeah, like you say, scam or pseudo scam where you don't know what you're getting yourself into, and then they expect a really good review, even if it's not really a
exactly.
great product. So yeah, you do have to be careful. I don't blame you for being cautious,
Yeah, yeah. Because I was like, yeah,
And it
this
would
is
hurt the credibility of your channel, right? If it's a crap product and you give it a good review and people complain, it only reflects badly on you. It makes you look bad, right? So
exactly,
yeah, you don't want
exactly.
that. Yeah,
And I've had stuff like that happen before, and I'm just like,
yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. You know,
No. Well, you live and
I
you learn, so now that's why you're cautious. I don't blame you.
yeah, I had God, when I first started the channel over 3 years ago, I had somebody a couple months ago reach out to me and say, "Hey, this isn't as you're saying it is." You know, I'm unsubscribing, and and I'm just like, well, everybody's thing is different, I guess. I mean, this
Yeah,
was and this product review was well over a year after they commented and whatnot. So things change. You know what I mean?
absolutely,
Uh,
absolutely,
and it's like, what do you want me to do?
exactly.
Uh,
Yeah,
I say things from my perspective, and you know, tell you guys, hey, this is how I see it, and what I think, and that's that.
right,
I can't be blamed if that company sent a really bad product or something. You know what I mean?
right, right. No, but I
Uh,
mean that's all you can, and that's all you can do. All you have is your integrity, and you're just trying to be honest and run a good channel. And what else is there, right? So,
yeah, exactly, exactly. Um, do you know this person, Shark?
who is it? The Russian?
Yeah.
That would be Aida. What is it? Trofimova? No, it's probably a bot. BOT.
Uh,
I don't
I
know.
didn't
I could
know.
I could read the Russian. I could tell them off in Russian if you want, but that's
Oh, geez.
uh
Damn.
yeah. Я говорю по-русски немного. I speak a little Russian.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, thanks. Yeah. Well, you're impressive. You speak
Yeah,
Portuguese, right? I think Spanish and
yeah,
yeah,
Spanish, Portuguese and Spanish.
that's great.
That's why you see me sometimes on Twitter responding back to Luis in Spanish. I don't know if
Right.
you've ever seen it, but yeah,
I did. Yeah. Yeah. That's
yeah.
awesome.
So
Yeah. That's
I
great,
actually
man.
invited him on, but he seems to be busy today. So I'm sure that he's watching everybody else going live, and I actually didn't even think about um, Gigi and all them going live tonight. I just
Oh,
like I'm like, you know what? I saw that thing about Apple, and I'm just like, you know what? I want to go live. I didn't even like honestly. I wasn't even planning to go live this month. I was planning to take a break, but then I'm like, you know what? I have to. I can't go. I can't go a day without going live. You know what I mean?
right. No,
And
it's
I'm
cool.
trying.
And
And
well,
the thing is,
it's
go
sorry.
ahead.
I was just gonna say it's good for your watch hours, and if, like you say, something timely in the news like this, it's big news. It's a big milestone, 3 trillion for Apple, and plus you say talking about their new products for 2022 coming up.
Yep.
Why not, right? I mean, that's it's only going to help. So
Yeah, and honestly, like the sooner the better, because honestly, like these companies, um, especially Apple, these events are coming up pretty soon. I mean, we're already in January. It's the first event for Apple is going to be in March, most likely
right,
March, April. So, I like to talk about this.
yeah. Do you think
Yo,
they'll actually have an event for the SC, or you're talking about something else? Or
uh, never pay to review a product. If company wants you to review the production is free of charge because these get free advertising. Yeah, exactly.
there it is. Great tip from Lewis. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly, Luis. Exactly. Thank you for coming on, man. I
Oh,
didn't
thanks for having
know.
me.
Um, I didn't know what you were up to tonight, Luis. So thank you, man. Um, I was gonna say something though, and then I read Luis's comment and got sidetracked. But no, for 2022, like I said, I feel like the biggest thing is gonna be the AR VR headset. As far as Apple goes, as far as like other companies, um, by the way, Samsung just released the S21 FE, was it?
Yeah, it's already
What
controversial
was
because
that? 'Cause okay, so like, what was that about? Because I didn't even hear anything about it. I just saw like two reviewers post videos, and I'm just like, wait, it's out? What the heck? I thought you
right.
usually get like some kind of a notice or something.
Well, so here's so what they started this thing last year with the S20 FE, right, in late 2020, right? And it
Hmm.
actually kind of made sense at the time because it was like I think September, October, in the wake of after the Fold at the time the Fold 2 had come out, and the Note 20 Ultra, and they already had the S20s out earlier in the year, as they usually do,
Right.
right, first quarter. And then so they came out with this S20 FE to give people a lower priced option to the regular S20 series, right?
Hmm.
And it's really good. I mean, the back is sort of a composite polycarbonate plastic, but it had all the same specs as the regular S20s, so you're getting that the same specs internally at a lower price point because of the kind of plasticky back a little bit. Still very nice to the touch, but not
Yeah.
metal, right? So wherever they cut costs, they could give you a better price, right? So it was a big hit. It was a huge hit last year ago, the 2020 holiday season, right?
Oh,
Uh-oh.
my friend's calling me.
Oh, no problem.
He
That happens.
probably he probably hasn't seen that I went live. So,
What's wrong with him? Why is he not on this? Why is he not watching the stream?
well, you know what?
I'm just
Another
kidding.
another thing with me is I didn't put the focus mode, so that's kind of my fault too.
Oh, it's fine.
Well, you know what it
But
is.
just
Like
but
at the
just to
time,
finish, go ahead. I'm sorry.
the thing is with me, like I like the focus mode. I'm just afraid that I'm gonna miss a very important phone call that could be potentially an emergency, so I don't put it on.
Oh,
So
I see. Oh, focus mode. It kind of takes airplane. It puts in airplane mode, so it just focused
yeah,
on what you're doing. Yeah, makes sense.
yeah. So
But just
that's
just to
all.
finish the point with the yeah, it makes sense. Just to finish the point with the Samsung. So yeah, it was a big hit, right? So they said,
Right.
okay, we're going to do it. Makes sense they would do an S21 FE, but the problem is they waited till now, till early January. The S22s are coming out in February,
Yeah.
and what's the point? I mean, it's kind of like the specs are good, but the price is higher than say the basic Pixel 6 by
Yeah.
$100. It's 690, 700 versus the Pixel 6 600. And a lot of people would say the stills on the Pixel 6 at $100 less are better than those on the Samsung. Now, video, maybe Samsung's is good or better a little bit, right? But
Right. Right.
yeah, it's like they're late. It's a little late to the party.
Hmm.
It's probably priced higher than it should be. I think they should have done at most 650 or 600, or even try to undercut Pixel a little bit, right? Like
Yeah.
say, I don't know, 550, 575, whatever, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, so the timing isn't good, and it's priced a little higher than it should be, no question about it.
Right. Right. Um, I'm wondering, like, especially for Google, how they're gonna what they're gonna do this year, as far as like competition to Samsung and stuff.
Yeah,
Um, I heard that like I think that they were gonna do a fold, but that's canceled. So uh,
yeah, yeah.
I'm kind of glad though. I'm kind of glad though because this is gonna give them more time to get better. You know what I mean? So
I would agree. Do it. Take the time and do it right. Don't rush it.
yeah,
You know.
and that's the thing with me. Like I I'm gonna be honest here, okay? It's not a lot of people say, "Oh, you hate foldables, you hate, innovation, this, that, the other." It's not that I hate the flip and foldable. It's not. It's the fact that because to be honest with you, I was very excited for it.
Hmm.
But when that first one came out and it had so many problems,
Right.
that's where I started doubting it and saying, okay, so maybe this isn't the future. Now that I'm seeing more and more and more happening, and people saying, it's gotten better year over year, now I'm starting to get into it, you
Yeah.
know. Um, so because especially my friends, I don't know if they're watching behind the scenes or anything, but I want to point it out. People always say, "Oh, if Apple would do it, you would buy it."
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe because they at least wait it out and do it perfect, not perfectly, but they try a lot harder. They go longer on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like there's some certain companies that one company came out with it. Samsung already tried to run past them, trying
Yeah.
to make it their phone a lot better than what they do. You can't do
Yeah.
that. Like, work
Right.
on it. Take your time with it. Make sure that there's very little to no problem, and go from there. You know
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
I
just
was
that's my thing.
I would totally agree. I think the idea is that with Apple, they're usually late to the party, at least somewhat, on the technology, the innovation itself.
And,
But
and,
the
and
idea
that's
is
and that's
they
the thing with,
perfect it. Yeah.
Android people. They're like, oh, we've had it first.
Right. Right.
You,
We've had
you've
it for
had it
years.
first.
Right. Right.
You've
Right.
had it first, but at least Apple's working on it. Maybe a lot slower, but they're working on it, so they don't have as many problems as these other
Right.
companies have. You know,
Yeah, the software is better integrated, optimization, battery, everything, right? That's the idea.
exactly.
So I totally can respect and appreciate that, even if I kind of like both approaches. But yeah, Samsung. So there's a great line. Speaking of finance, a great movie I highly recommend to. You'd love it. I think any people in those chat will love it. Called Margin Call. Came out about 10 years ago. All-star cast, ensemble cast. It's about basically the best movie I've seen as a finance guy about the 2008 crash, right?
Mhm.
Right, the subprime fueled crash, right? Stock market economic crash, right? Anyway,
Right.
there's one key scene in the movie midway through where they kind of explain it. It all comes together. They explain it all in the boardroom, right? So one of the things the CEO, played by Jeremy Irons, great British actor, says, his character says is, well, there's three ways you can do this in this business. You either be first, be smarter, or cheat. He says, "Well, I don't cheat." And well, who knows? But assuming they don't cheat. So I would say Samsung takes the approach of be first. They always want to come out with whatever it is first, right? To use a tech
Right.
and to analogize this to tech. And I would say Apple tries to be, you might say, smarter. They want to, like you say, make sure it's not the software and every optimization is not half baked. And they want it to be as perfect as it can be when they come out with it. So it's just two different ways of approaching the same type of issue with these tech products, right? So
Mhm.
I love that. Yeah, Samsung is the be first, and Apple's maybe the try to be smarter or perfect it better.
Wait, what the heck? Uh,
Yeah, Lewis said it's not about being first; it's about being as good as you can. Exactly. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. I'm over here. My thing just told me what's going on.
Uh oh.
Now my thing was just telling me that I was low, and I'm like, I put it charging.
Uh oh. That happens.
I'm telling you.
Hey. The good news is you caught it before it died,
Yeah,
right?
can you imagine? It just shuts down.
Yeah. The screen, the live stream just goes to block. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. But
My tablet has a good thing like that too. I have the Samsung tablet. You probably know the one I reviewed for your year-end tech review and
yep.
collab video. And the screen actually it gives you a warning at 15%, and then the screen actually gets really dim at about 5%, saying, "Okay, this is your final warning before it shuts down."
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right,
Exactly.
right.
Yeah, I have to make a quote about this. I have to make a quote about this. This is so true right here. It's not about being first. It's about being as good as you can, and
Yep.
that's the thing. I feel like with anything in life, you just have to take things slow and do the best you can. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's how you succeed in life with anything. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Um,
I agree overall.
so what are your thoughts on Apple going? I've been hearing this back and forth, but what do you think about Apple iPhone going to punch hole instead of the notch?
Yeah, it's interesting. I know it's already raising some hackles in the tech community, right?
Oh
So
boy.
correct me if I'm wrong. The way I've understood it, it's even weirder than that. They're only going to do the punch hole for the pro models and not for the
Yeah.
non-pro. That's even more strange to me. I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think you know how I feel. You already know how I think I feel about notches, right?
Oh
I don't
yeah.
like them. So I'd be even a small notch. I probably would prefer the punch hole, but why not just do it across the whole line? If you and then the other thing people are saying is, well, that means we get rid of the Face ID. Some people love it. They'd either have to do it under display. I'm assuming you might have more information on it, or they're going to go to a fingerprint under display fingerprint scanner. I guess, right? Possibly.
Mhm.
But then you don't do it for the non-pro models, and a lot of
Exactly.
people would also, from a design perspective, some people are saying, yeah. And the only other issue is that people might say, well, now it looks like it's going to look too much like an Android phone and not have it. The one thing about the notch is that Apple kind of owns that for better or for worse, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so now the thing that separates them from looking like every other slab Android phone is that notch, for better or for worse, right? So yeah, I'm okay with it either way. I don't own an iPhone, as you know, right now, but how do you feel
Right.
about it?
I honestly like. I don't care for it, but at the same time, it doesn't really bother me. I mean,
Yeah,
the way I consume content, it doesn't really perturb me. Like I don't watch YouTube and like the full screen. I always have like the black bars and stuff, and that doesn't
yeah,
even whatever.
hmm
So it's gonna be interesting. I do like the hole punch design. I kind of prefer it where it had like the older Androids where it had it on the corner versus the middle.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that's just me. That's just me.
Well,
Um,
the Pixel. Oh, I think you're right. These year's Pixels have it in the middle, but the ones last year, the Pixel 5 had it, and the other one had it on the 4. They had it on the in the corner instead. So
right.
it's a trade off. You think the whole not only wouldn't bother you, what do you think it would bother you? Well, you say the notch doesn't really bother you, so you don't think for you. So sounds like you're saying it wouldn't bother you either one. You go either way, right?
It wouldn't bother me either way.
Yeah,
It wouldn't
yeah,
bother me either way.
yeah,
One thing that I really want to see in the future is like what Samsung has, the under display cameras. That's one
yeah.
thing that I would like to see Apple do, because I think
Sure.
those are interesting. Yeah, it looks a little bit weird, but I definitely think that they could pull it off.
Well, I
But
think there again, Samsung. So you probably know this right from the Fold 3. They have it on that's what the technology they have on the inside unfolded screen of the Z Fold 3, right? The
yep,
criticism is it's only they know they had to lower it to either had to lower it or chose to lower it to 4 megapixels, which is really
right,
low. So a lot of people are complaining about it with Fold, saying, "Oh, the one in the Z Fold 2 from last year, 2020, was so much
yep,
better because it was higher mega. It was like an 8. It was like they cut it in half, I think, from like 8 to I think either 8 or something to 4 megapixels, which
uh-huh,
lowers the resolution quality. So it's good enough, like I guess for like video calls, Zoom or whatever, right? But a lot of people are saying, yeah, but for selfies and everything else, it kind of stinks. It's not good enough. So especially for a phone you're paying, they're charging $1,800 retail
right,
for, right?
right,
So again, that's Samsung saying we want to be first. We're going to put it out there and see what people think about, like it. And a lot of people are pushing back, complaining about it. Hopefully, they'll do it this year for the Z Fold 4, right? but they'll do it with a higher mega. Hopefully, they can get it to a higher megapixel count, so it won't be. People will be more receptive to it.
Right. I'm gonna share here. 2023 iPhones again rumored to include 10 times zoom periscope lens. I don't know how I feel about this, just because I've seen 10 times zoom on like Samsung phones, and it doesn't look that great. So
no, it doesn't.
I don't know. Like, so it says here, Apple's working on the biggest upgrade yet for the telephoto zoom lens, according to Jeff Boo. 53.3% accurate. So again, take that with a very small grain of salt. At least one new iPhone releasing in 2023 is said to include this new 10 times zoom lens that will allow users to optically zoom without losing quality. We first heard about a periscope lens coming to iPhone from Main Tree Co. That is 75.9% accurate. What is a periscope lens? Essentially, it takes a longer zoom lens that normally would make the phone unreasonably thick and places it sideways using a mirror or prism to reflect what it sees into the camera sensor. There's an image that illustrates it above, and a really helpful video from Samsung below. I never saw it visualized like this before. Actually makes sense. This is the path to seriously increasing optical zoom in smartphones.
Yeah. It's really cool technology if you look at it. So they literally just taking, how normally telephoto lens, like say a sports photographer with a DSLR would go out, right? So the idea is you're literally just taking that lens and you're turning it sideways and putting it in the back of the phone that way. So I think it's sort of going like this. Instead of going like this, it's going like this inside the phone, and it's reflected back through, like they say, a prism. So it can keep a relatively thin phone and still have that zoom, hopefully relatively lossless, relatively lossless quality. But like you say, A, do people need or want that on a phone? And B, there again, like you say with Apple, I think if they do it, the implementation will be really, really good, right?
Mm-hmm.
The question is, will they raise prices? I'm assuming it'll probably be on the Pro models only, right? To start, I would think, possibly, right? And again, do people need or want it? You're already saying you're not convinced, right? So, and you're a big Apple guy, so
yeah. I don't know. Hey, it's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, if anything, if they are working on it, I definitely don't think it's gonna be on the iPhone 14. Maybe 15 or 16, but definitely not 14.
I'd agree. 2023 at the earliest, right? Yeah.
So I think that they're gonna need a few years before anything. But that's pretty much what I really wanted to talk about. I know that they're talking about like the new Apple Watch coming out with a new design that we were supposed to get this year, but that never happened. So honestly, I don't know about you, but I'm not more of a see it to believe it kind of guy. So at this point, I'm just waiting for everything to come out and then talk about it more. Same thing for the AirPods Pro 2. They're saying this is something that I wanted to talk about. They're saying that it's gonna have like the stemless design, kind of like the Power Beats have and stuff.
Okay, cool.
And like Samsung Buds. I don't know how like that would look. I mean, think about it. Honestly, if you want to picture it, it's basically the AirPods Pro without the stem.
Wow.
I think it kind of looks weird. Yeah.
So sort of like this, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Wait, which ones are those that you have?
That's the Samsung Buds Live. In fact, I think
Oh,
it's
okay.
there's some weird little bug. It's not working. They should be. I think I'm on regular audio from the tablet, but I know you complimented. You like the look overall. But
Yeah.
you're right. It's not everybody. It's not everyone's cut. They happen to fit my ears perfectly, but that's not going to be true for everyone.
Well,
So
I didn't,
literally, it's like
honestly,
it's
I didn't
shaped
even know
like
you
a
had them on.
yeah. It's shaped like a bean.
Yep.
So you literally have the let me get it in there. Yep. So these are
Yep.
the yeah. So there's no stem, there's no nothing, and you literally just stick it right in, and
Right.
you can use touch or not touch, and you're good to go. But there's nothing like you say. It's nice because there's nothing sticking down.
Yep.
So, but not
If
everyone's
Apple did
they
something
don't
like
fit
that,
everyone's
that would be
ears.
cool.
Yeah, there's no way to adjust. I don't think there's because it's set in plastic or whatever. There's no way
Hmm.
to adjust the size. If your ears are too big or too small, they're not going to work for you. So it's yes or no, right? Very binary.
Yeah. Um. All right.
So
Well, I think I'm
they're
gonna.
saying the AirPods Pro 2 Pro are gonna might be look like that, sort
Yeah,
of.
they're saying. I'll even show you their picture here. Let me go back on the site here. Can I actually? I can just show you with that. So share. So that's what they look.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, interesting.
So
Okay, so you just they're not the same. I think it's you just stick them in your ear, but there's no like you say, there's no stem, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. It says Apple is planning a massive overhaul for second generation AirPods Pro, according to Mentally Co. Per the new investor note, AirPods Pro 2 will have a new design alongside an audible charging case, so you'll be able to find your headphones easier. Apple Lossless Audio ALAC will be supported as a first for wireless uh, AirPods. Look for launch sometime in the fourth quarter of 2022. Our take, as seen above, Mac Rumors has already shared images of what the new case is going to look like. Although the pods are visually similar to AirPods Pro, the latest rumor also lines up with what Apple VP has said of future AirPods. So let
Mm,
me see.
interesting.
So this is what they're talking about here,
Oh,
and I shared this in another video before. So basically, what I think they're saying is this is the speakers for essentially it's going to connect to like Find My, I guess, and you can set it to like ping or whatever, and these are the speakers you'll hear the noise from. This over here apparently is going to be like a thing where you can put a hook into it, and
oh, lanyard. Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah,
Wow,
so
interesting. I kind of like it actually. Again, I'm not always an Apple fan about everything, but yeah,
right, right.
I kind of like the look. Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much.
It'd be really cool and crazy if you could use that case with the little speaker holes as a speakerphone.
Yeah, yeah.
Just a
That
crazy idea.
that'll be cool. That'll be cool.
That's kind of the
And
way my mind
honestly,
works
that's what I
sometimes.
thought. When I saw that, that's what I thought, and
Right,
I'm like, okay, what is this for?
right,
Uh, and then I read it, and it sounds interesting.
right.
I'm just wondering how they're gonna be able to put that in there, but we'll see what happens, I guess.
So I
Go
was
ahead.
thinking you'd put the thing. Say you had a conference call with a few people in a conference room, right? You
Yep.
you'd have your iPhone connected to it. You'd put the earpods inside the case, right? The
Yep.
AirPods, and then you turn on like a switch to or whatever on the phone to speaker, and then you would have AirPod quality, sort of like AirPod quality audio coming out of the speaker holes on the charging case.
Right. Right.
Some people would
Right.
say, or you could just go buy a Bluetooth, like an what is it, Air Home Mini or whatever it's, what's it called, HomePod Mini or something. But
HomePod, yeah. Yeah,
But
that
this is so small. This is something you could take with you. It's going to be with you all the time with your
yeah,
AirPods, right? So,
exactly.
just a
Exactly.
crazy idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you should submit that to Apple because
I'm going
that'll
to
be
send
up.
an email to Tim Cook and see what he thinks. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I actually have a buddy. I'm not gonna say who on the live stream, but I have a buddy who actually um, sent emails back and forth to Tim, and he's actually responded, and I'm just like,
Really
wait, what? Yeah,
interesting.
and he's showing me proof, and I'm like, damn, I never like you would never think, but hey, listen, think about the unthinkable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
But
we're
sometimes
approaching an
those are the
hour here.
best ideas. They're coming grassroots from real users,
Yeah,
And
exactly.
going back to Samsung for a second to give them some credit, one reason they've improved like the folds and flip, a lot of it was user feedback where people just kept complaining about certain things with the
Yeah,
display or battery life or whatever. And now they've and the hinge and everything else, waterproofing, whatever, water resistance, and now they've improved it dramatically over the last two generations from the very first fold, which was, I wouldn't say a dumpster fire, but not the best implementation, right? It was very much a beta product, and now the Fold 2 and Fold 3 are just fantastic. So yeah,
right,
you know,
right. Um, all right. So I think we're gonna end here. I have to run. It's close to an hour. So, thank you for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
thank you for having me.
Hopefully we can have more opportunities like this. I know this is a bit short
Love it.
notice. Again, I do appreciate you coming on nonetheless. And I want to thank everybody here. Tech for Your Needs, Miles, Solange. Thank you guys for coming on, and we'll see you guys very soon. Have a great night, guys.
Peace out, everybody. Enjoy. Thanks.